Okay, now we are on live, I think, on YouTube. Do you have any friends watching this?
There will probably be some, but since we are a bit late, wait, let me just check here.
I think we are online on YouTube now.
Nismo ni počeli još. Malo tehničkih problema. Ne, sve okay.
Is there any problem?
No, it's just my parents checking in on me. But from what I can see, I don't see that we are live on YouTube. It says live now, but it's just like loading something. There is no.
Maybe it records it and then we send it to YouTube. I don't know. It's the first time I try this.
Yeah, well, I've never done this before either, so I don't know what's going on.
It's my fault. I use Instagram.
Hold on. Oh, we're live.
Oh, okay, fine. In there.
We're live. We're live. I just checked on my PC. We're definitely live.
Okay, thank you. You are younger than me. You understand the technology better than me. When
a bit better, but not much.
When I was at your age, there was no Instagram. Maybe YouTube. Maybe there is YouTube. The cell phones were very new. There was only a brand named Motorola. It was like a brick. This
yeah,
brick, like this. You use it like this. Then let me introduce you to people in Turkish, please. First.
Okay.
Merhaba. Nikola'yla İngilizce konuşmak durumundayım. Kendisi Bosna'da yaşayan Sırp bir arkadaşımız. Onunla şimdi Bosna ve Türkiye basketbolu üzerine biraz konuşacağız. Kendi basketbolla ilgili deneyimleri üzerine İngilizce. Orada çeviriler yapacağım. O şekilde. Hi Nico, I have some questions for you about you and basketball in Turkey, in Bosnia, Serbia.
Yes, I would be glad to answer what I can.
Okay. When you started playing basketball, how old were you?
Well, when I started, I can't remember correctly, but 6 or 7 years old. So I started with my brother. We were really young. So at that point in time, my family moved to a city called Bijeljina. And my father thought, as kids, it would be good to engage in some, sports activities. So we tried out different sports, and me and my brother in the end settled on basketball. I was 6 or 7 at the time, and my brother was like 8 or 9.
You have an older brother?
Yes.
Where is he now? Is he in Turkey?
No, he is. He studies a university in Vienna, in Austria.
Oh, he's away from you.
Yeah, he's far away.
In which sports did you participate?
Well, we tried different sports. We tried, the general ones, football, handball, volleyball, tennis at one point, but ultimately we settled on basketball because both of us as kids we were quite similar, and basketball was kind of the most fun, I guess, out of all the sports. So we just, I don't know, I guess basketball picked us. We didn't pick it. It just kind of happened.
Okay, let me translate it a little in Turkish. Niko 6 yaşında basketbola başladığını söylüyor. 6 yaşlarında kendisinden 2 yaş büyük bir abisi var. Onunla birlikte birçok sporu denemiş. Ondan sonra basketbolda karar kılmış. Daha keyifli olduğunu düşünüyor. Türkçe konuşurken de beni anladığını düşünüyorum. You understand me a little in Turkish, I think.
A little bit, but not much.
Yani en son basketbol bizi seçti diyor. Biz basketbolu seçmedik diyor. Daha yani keyifli, zevkli olduğunu düşündüğünü söylüyor. Were there any professional athletes in your family?
No. As far as I'm aware, professionally, no. My father and his brother were very passionate and affectionate towards basketball, and their parents as well. But not, and they had some. My father had, since he was also, when he was young, he was also studying in Belgrade, and he had a period in time where he actually played for the under-18 team of Red Star, Crvena Zvezda, but it was nothing professional. He was just around, I guess. So no professionals.
He played for Red Star.
Yeah, it was under. I think he was 14 at the time, so it's under 16.
Under 16.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me translate it. Profesyonel oynayan ailesinde kimse olup olmadığını sordum. Olmadığını, fakat işte babasının 16 sanırım Kızıl Yıldız takımındaki Kızıl Yıldız iyi bir takım, yani herhalde basketbolla ilgilenen herkes bilir. Orada oynadıklarını söyledi. Turkish basketball fans do know Red Star. It's a very known team in Turkey.
Yes.
There are a lot of professional players who started playing basketball there. We know about. You answered 4 of my questions in one question.
No, I'm prepared for all of them, so don't worry. Yeah.
Okay. Where were you born, in Bosnia or Serbia?
I was born in Serbia, actually, because at the time, you know, the 90s were interesting on the, you know, between Serbia and Bosnia and everything that happened. So my family moved a lot. You know, it was a very difficult time, so they moved constantly from one town to another, crossing between the borders. And at the time when I was born, they were in Serbia. It's a town called Loznica, and it's actually really close to the border that exists today. And it's also very close to the city of Bijeljina, where I grew up. So I was born in Bijeljina, but you know, as I said, we moved a lot. So my brother was actually born in Bosnia. So it's just a sign of the times, I guess.
I'm translating now. Nerede, yani Sırbistan'da mı doğdun diye sordum. Çünkü Sırp kendisi. Ben Sırbistan'da doğdum ama abim Bosna'da doğdu. O dönemde sürekli yer değiştirdik diye söylüyor. Ben şimdi şehir isimlerini yanlış söyleyebilirim. O yüzden söyleyemiyorum ama tam sınıra yakın iki şehir arasında yer değiştirmişler. Abisi Bosna'da, kendisi Sırbistan'da doğmuş. My situation is very similar to you. My parents were born in Kırklareli, near the border of Bulgaria. My elders were born in Bulgaria. You know, the Ottoman Empire.
Yeah.
I am in a very similar situation. My mother's family live in a village which is very, very close to the border, and you can see the Bulgarian side, Bulgarian people there.
Oh, that's very close. Yeah.
You have to have permission to go there in the village.
Yeah.
You must have permission from the military to enter that close to the border. We are very similar. We have very similar situations.
Yes.
Ya ben de şeyi söyledim. Yani benim de ailem tam Bulgaristan sınırında. Yani annemin yaşadığı köy tam sınırda. Benzer bir durumu yaşadık. I have another question about you first starting basketball. When you started young, how many hours a day were you practicing, and how many days in a week were you practicing?
When I was really young and before I started to take basketball somewhat seriously, the team where I signed up, or the club actually, had practice 3 times a week, and it was just 1 hour.
How old were you?
That was till about when I turned 14. I started practicing a lot more, but up until the age of like 14, I would say that was 3 to 4 times a week, maybe for like 1 hour. But that's officially, like, we were all kids, and there was like nothing better to do in the summer, and when it's a good time outside, we would just go out and play all day on an open court or something. But officially, when it comes to like practicing and training, it was 3 or 4 times a week for like 1 hour. And the coaches, the people that worked with us, especially, they didn't really take their job too seriously. It was like there were more babysitters than trainers. So,
okay, I'm translating just to catch up. Basketbola başladığında haftada kaç saat, bir günde kaç saat, yani haftada kaç gün, bir günde kaç saat antrenman yaptığını sordum Niko'ya. Günde 1 saat, haftada da 3 veya 4 gün antrenman yapıyorduk dedi. Yani tabii ki dışarıda bizim oynadığımız gibi sürekli basketbol oynuyormuş. Ama yani resmi olarak, yani kulüpte 14 yaşına gelene kadar haftada yani 3-4 gün, günde de 1 saat antrenman yaptığını, ama yani bizi çok da ciddi bir antrenman olmadı. Yani bize bebek bakıcılığı yapıyorlardı. Çok da ciddiye almıyordu çalışan koçlar diye ekliyor. O yüzden güldüm açıkçası. Buradaki hani bizim spor okulları durum var. After U14, did the hours raised?
Yes. When I turned 14, actually, what happened is I changed the club, because up until that point, I was in a certain club, and that club fell apart. It didn't exist anymore. So I changed to a different club, and in that club I actually stayed till the end. The club is called Radnik, and practicing and training there was a lot more serious. Especially because I suppose some of the coaches there recognized not just my talent, but many other players from my town. So we had like practice almost every day, like 5 days maybe, and we would have like 5 days of practice and 2 days of gym, like lifting and stuff.
How many hours were you practicing?
So the practice was usually an hour and a half. So it was half an hour more than before.
What was the club's name?
Radnik.
Radnik. Let me translate it. 14 yaşına geldikten sonra, 14 yaşını geçtikten sonra Radnik isimli başka bir kulübe geçmiş. Bu kulüpte daha ciddiye alındığını söylüyor. Sporun, yani daha önce kulübü kapanmış, devam etmemiş. Bu kulüpte de haftanın 5 günü günde 1,5 saat düzenli olarak antrenman yaptıklarını, onun dışında da 2 gün ağırlık çalıştıklarını, haftada yani anladığım kadarıyla ya 7 gün yapıyorlar ya da bazıları çift yapıyorlar. Onu şimdi sorayım. Were you practicing 7 days a week or some days double training and the others some off days?
Well, it depends on the time period, but I will explain. So before I made the senior team, I had like one practice session every day. It changes, you know. We had like 5 days in a week we had practice with, you know, basketball, but during the weekends we had like gym. We had an how do you say, an athletics coach, I guess, and he was guiding us through you know, how to, but you know, I was 15 to 16 at that time. So we didn't really lift much weights, but we just, you know, body exercises for, you know, squats and the legs for the jump and everything.
But you were not training double, 2 trainings a day.
No, I didn't have two sessions per day, no. But after I made the senior team, I had 7 days a week. I had 2 sessions every day.
How old were you when you entered the senior team?
I was 16 when I was accepted to the senior team, and at that time, I was a bench warmer. I was just, you know, I'm just there for the practice and to watch the game and sit on the bench. But you know, that's how it usually goes. So you start from the bottom and you go up.
It was the same for me when I was 16. I entered the senior team. Let me translate to the who doesn't understand English. Şimdi 16 yaşında A takıma yükselene kadar haftada 5 gün basketbol, 2 günde atletik antrenman, yani ağırlık kaldırmadık diyor, yani hani vücut ağırlığıyla atletizm çalışmaları yaptığından bahsediyor. 16 yaşında A takım seviyesine yükseldikten sonra haftanın işte 5 günü günde çift antrenmanlara başlamış. O zaman da işte yani bench'te oturuyordum diyor, yani hani çok da bir süre almıyordum şeklinde söylüyor. I have another question for you about Turkey, Bosnia and Serbia. Did you play in Serbia, or you have any opinion about the Serbian basketball?
I didn't officially like play for any team or club or anything, because by the time I moved to Serbia, I was going to university, and university was like, you know, the top goal. Yes. It was the thing I was moving towards, and university in Belgrade, especially the faculty that I chose, was really difficult. And the more I started to realize that it's very difficult, the less time I had for, you know, basketball, and it just kind of ended there.
Computer engineering was
yes.
Choice, I think, yes. Okay, let me translate. Yani Sırbistan'da basketbol oynadın mı diye sorun. Tabii sorun bu olmayacak da hani oynamadığını, hani Sırbistan'a gittiğinde artık tamamen üniversiteye yöneldiğini, tek seçeneğin ona yöneldiğini, basketbol oynamadığını, o yüzden oradaki basketbolu, yani altyapı olayını falan soracaktım ama bilmediğini söylüyor. Orada zor olduğunu söylüyor. But you know about Turkish basketball, our gymnasiums in university, Hacettepe University, and maybe you know other gymnasiums. Can you compare Bosnia and Turkey about gymnasium standpoint?
Yes, I can. Well, you know, I can speak for my town where I grew up and how the situation was like there. So, you know, the gymnasiums in my town were not really well equipped at all. Like there were, first of all, there's a very small number of them that are allowed, that the public can use. There's like 4 maybe, but all of them had major issues. Like the court wasn't good. There was, the wooden planks, there were on a couple of spots they're missing. None of the gymnasiums you have to bring your own basketball. None of the gymnasiums have their own. And apart from that, they don't have really any equipment. You don't get any ladders to skip or those combs or nothing. It's just, a broken court and 2 rims. And the funniest thing is, because those gymnasiums are usually built, cheaply, they're small. They don't have proper hoops. They use those hoops that hang off the wall.
The old hoops, I know.
Yeah, they hang off the wall, and they don't even place them far enough from the wall. So if you go for a layup, there's a really good chance you're going to smack into the wall. You're going to hit it.
That's not because it's made cheap. It's old.
Yeah.
They were probably made 50 or 60 years before.
Yes, I assume so.
Watch the old clips in Turkey or anywhere else. It's all the same. Let me translate a little. Şimdi kendisine şeyi sordum, hani Bosna'daki durum nasıl, kendisinin yaşadığı yerdeki, şehirdekiyle bizim üniversiteyi Hacettepe'yi kıyaslayabilirim diye sordum da şöyle söylüyor, yani bizde zaten toplasam 4 tane saha vardı diyor. Ve bunlardaki hani potalar duvarın dibinde, ondan sonra yani çok da standart olmayan potalar, zeminin çok kötü olduğunu, birçok yerde hani şeyin eksik olduğunu, top ve malzeme herhangi bir şeyin olmadığını söylüyor Niko. Yani kendi malzemenizi oynamak, çalışmak istiyorsanız kendiniz götürmeniz gerekiyor diyor. Yani toplasanız bir şeyde 4 tane saha var. We have, 4 courts in Hacettepe University. In that, in that section of the university, there are a lot of parts. Hacettepe isn't one building, one.
Yes, I know. 2 campuses actually.
2 campuses. Yes, you're right. I couldn't find the word. The other campus has, I know, 1 court that's better than any of the ones you see in Beytepe campus. And there are more than 100 gymnasiums in Ankara. Hundreds or more.
Yeah, well, it's a big city.
Yes. But it's not enough, I think. It's not enough. In Ankara, I have problems to find a court to use for my players, for using to teach basketball. Let me translate a little. Şöyle söylüyorum, yani bizim sadece Hacettepe Üniversitesi'nde 4 tane sahamız, yani 4 tane kort var, saha var. Bizim kampüste, diğer kampüste zaten var. Ankara'da 100'ün üzerinde sahamız var. Çoğu da hani bu şartların çok üzerinde. Hani bazen antrenörlerimiz şartları yeterli olmadığını, yetersiz olduğunu falan bahsediyorlar. Hani Nikon'un yetiştiği yerden çok daha iyi. We're in a very, very better position than your city or country, I think, or the gymnasium points.
Yes, definitely. But I have to say that, I sent you some pictures before this because the situation improved a little bit a couple of years ago. It improved a little bit because we got the town built a proper gymnasium. but they didn't. And it's one of the bigger issues that my town has, because last season or the season before, I'm not really sure right now, the town where I come from had two teams that were competing in the Premier League. So you would assume that the town should have a sports hall, a proper, building for stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah, but what the town decided to do was not to build a proper sports hall. They built a gymnasium for a school. So, and that school did not have a gymnasium before. So it's kind of doubling right now for a gymnasium and a sports hall. And in that gymnasium, the court is solid, the rims are, modern, I would say, what you see today usually. So all of the matches, Premier League or First League or whatever, or it doesn't even depend on the sport. It's like volleyball, basketball, handball. It's all held in that one gymnasium.
24 hours a day there are.
Yeah, there's constantly something going on. Yeah.
Okay, let me translate. Yani durumu biraz daha değiştiğinden bahsediyor Niko şehrinde. Kendi şehrinde bizim Süper Lig seviyesinde 2 tane takım artık varmış. Mücadele eden basketbol konusunda. Yani bizim arena dediğimiz büyük, yani bizim Ankara Arena gibi büyük bir saha olması gerektiğini düşünüyorum. Süper Lig olduğu için de 2 takım var şehirde. Ama şehir şuna karar vermiş, bir okula saha yapmışlar. Yani okulun salonu olmuş. Okulla birlikte işte o 2 takım artı voleybollar, bütün müsabakalar artık orada oynanmaya başlamış. Böyle bir iyileşme olmuş. I want to ask you about racism. Maybe you are watching the USA now. A guy named Floyd was killed by the policeman. They choked him. That was
yes, I'm a bit aware of those events. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it, or I may ask some questions?
Well, I can say a few things. I'm not really the stuff that's going on in the USA. I'm not really. I come from a world where that doesn't really exist. So everything, I'm talking about racism, of course. And myself personally, I don't like divide people up based upon race or like anything. Like people are people for me. So I don't really know why, that all is going on. I just hope that I guess they don't have any real issues. I don't know. I just hope that they resolve those racism issues that they built their country on racism. So I don't know. I just hope they stop yelling at people and start accepting each other a bit more, because they live together. It's what you have to do.
Let me translate. Yani benim geldiğim dünyada böyle bir şey olmadığı için ben bunu anlayamıyorum diyor. Yani birbirlerine bağırmak, yani ırkçılık üzerine kurulu bir düzenleri var ama bunu artık birbirlerine bağırıp yani bunu yapmayı kesip birbirlerini anlamaları gerektiğini söylüyor. Yani ben bunu anlamakta güçlük çekiyorum diyor. I have a question for you. But you answered it. You didn't have any experience about racist actions in your life in Bosnia, because I want to ask this to you because Bosnian and Serbian people fight. There was a big war happened. A lot of people died because of the religion, I think, first.
Yes. It was more of a religious issue than race, really. Yeah.
I don't like asking this question. I don't like to ask you, but I must ask because people understand. People may understand the situation. You are Christian or Muslim?
I'm Christian.
You are Christian. You live in Bosnia. Most of the people are Muslim, we say Müslüman, but they don't do anything. They don't hate you. You have no problem.
No, look, I lived in Bosnia for like 18 years. I never experienced any issue based on my religion. I never experienced like any issues, and I didn't create any myself, because I was raised I was just, I was raised that way. It's, my religion is my religion. My family's religion is their religion. The family next door has their stuff. It's, it's not a reason to think something about a person based on their religion. That's, in my opinion, very stupid. You have to know the person to like judge them, I guess. But no, I never experienced any. And even I must say, like the town where I come from, it's mostly Christian, but I would say like maybe 60 to 70% Christian. The rest is Muslim. But I traveled around the country, especially playing basketball. I played the National League, I played the First League. I've been around, and it's also interesting whenever you play. You go to an away game where the team comes from a majorly Muslim town. Never. Nothing bad ever happened. Nobody had any religious remarks. It was, and you can walk. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like normal life. You walk. It doesn't really matter if the city is majorly Muslim or Christian. You walk freely. You interact with people. It's my experience has been like that. If you were to ask somebody 10 to 15 years older than me, he might tell you a different story, but that has been my experience.
I think it's because the people living there suffered a lot because of this. They had a war, a lot of people died. The country, there was another country named, what was its name? Yugoslavia. It's named Yugoslavia. A lot of religion and people were living there. The big Yugoslavia, they wanted to continue it, but it does not continue. Let me translate. Şimdi yani Bosna'da yaşadığı için ben hani bir sorun, sıkıntı yaşayıp yaşamadığını sorup if there are people speaking English who want to ask questions to Nikola and me, you can write it here, but we may see it online on YouTube. Do you see the YouTube channel, Nico?
I can open it right now. Just a second.
It's the first time I'm using,
Just a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe everything is working properly.
If they write anything, we will see it here. I'm continuing to translate. Yani Türkiye'de diyorum, özür dilerim. Bosna'da yaşarken hani yaşadığı şehrin %60'ı Sırp diyorum. Hristiyan olan bir şehirde yaşadığını söylüyor. Yani %40 Müslüman, %60 Hristiyan olan bir şehirde yaşıyormuş. Ama basketbol oynarken diğer şehirlerde de Müslümanların olduğu, Müslümanların yoğun olduğu, tamamen Müslüman olan bir şehirde de basketbol oynamış ama hiçbir şekilde hiçbir sorun yaşamadım diyor. Yani hiçbir şekilde bana sataşan, bana bir şey yapan olmadı diyor. Ben de kimseye bu şekilde davranmadım. Ama benden eski insanlara sorunca onların hani farklı düşündüklerini, farklı şeyler gördüklerini biliyorum diyor. Ben de şey dedim yani hani çok acı çektikleri için artık durumun farklı olduğunu düşündüğümü söyledim. O da katıldığını söyledi. Did you have any experience, racist experience in Turkey?
No, no, no. I came here to study university, and I met, the Beytepe campus is huge, and I met a lot of people. And I'm switching to religion now because I didn't really experience any racist anything. It never even came up in a conversation. But I met a lot of people here, and I have, a lot of good friends, and none of them, it's at least what I believe, but I think it's true. None of them really judge me because I'm different. We're all connected, and especially like I met a lot of my friends through basketball. So I guess, in a way, basketball is like an international language for everybody. It's a sport that connected us, and some of those friends speak good English and we understand each other. Some of them don't. We don't yet speak the same language, but that doesn't stop us from trying to talk, hanging out, having a good time. Really.
Türkiye'de böyle bir sorun yaşadı mı diye sordum ama hiç böyle bir şey yaşamadım. Sonuçta ortak dilimiz basketbol. Hani İngilizcesi iyi olan olmayan hani çok arkadaşım var diyor ama hiçbir şekilde sorun yaşamadım, böyle bir kötü bir şeyle karşılaşmadım diyor. Hiç herhangi bir sorun yaşamamış. My questions are over. I have no other questions about, to ask you. We may talk about basketball and the situation right now, the coronavirus. What do you think about the situation now? How do you feel?
Yeah, well, I've been sort of following the stuff that's been going on in the Serbian or the ABA League, actually. That's the regional one. And Euro League and that kind of stuff generally. And I don't really understand the sentiment that they are producing. I'm not sure why. There are many fans who are upset that these leagues had to end and the activities had to stop, and I really don't understand why, because at the end of the day it's a sport. It's not
important than
yes, so it's it's fine, we take a little break now, we let's deal with the situation at hand, let's make sure everything and everyone is safe. And sports is, especially today, sports is mainly entertainment, so it will continue. Okay, this season ended up how it did, we just reset everything and try again next season. But I think that many people are upset because some leagues decided to give titles even though the season isn't over. I'm not really sure how I stand on that issue. What I would have liked to happen is, just let's pretend that, the season didn't happen, because there's no fair way to decide who gets the title.
Yes, let me translate. Durumla ilgili, yani bu korona ve şu anki basketbol durumuyla ilgili ne sorduğunu, özür dilerim, ne düşündüğünü sordum. Yani bilmiyorum yani şu anda ne düşünmem gerektiğini, hani bir şey anlamıyorum yani taraftarların ligin bitmesinden dolayı niye bu kadar huzursuz olduklarını, yani yaşamdan daha önemli olmadığını düşünüyorum diyor. Yani ve hani liglerin bazılarının yani şampiyon ilan etmeleri işte o anda hani ki duruma göre ödül vermelerini doğru bulmadığını söylüyor. Yani sonuçta sezon sonunda ne olacağını kimse bilemez diye söylüyor. Because I agree with you. Our team Anadolu Efes was going to be the champion, I think, in EuroLeague.
Definitely, yes.
But Coach Ergin Ataman said that I don't accept to be a champion like this. He said,
yes.
It's not fair, he said. I think the same. Because you can never know. Maybe the most important player in FS, American one, his name?
Shane Larkin.
Larkin. Maybe he had an injury. He may have an injury, or other something. Another thing may happen. It's not fair to end the league and say that you are the champion this year.
Yes, plus they probably feel like, you know, if we're going to win the championship, we're going to win it on the court, you know.
Yes. And it will be the first time for, I think, Ergin Ataman to be a champion in this league.
Yeah, that's big. Yeah.
And he can think about it. The first time you win, everybody will say the first time you win, you didn't win it. They give it to you.
Yeah.
The league, the organization didn't end. It's not fair. They will say he's a very he knows that they will.
Yeah, he's a big man. Yes, I agree.
There is a big rivalry between Obradovic and Ergin Ataman. they don't. I think they don't. They like each other, but Ergin Ataman.
But not on the court. Yeah.
They don't sometimes shake hands. They yell at each other. Yeah. But it's about sports. We want to compete on the player level and the coaches level.
Coach level, yeah, yes.
The same. Let me translate. Şimdi söyleyeyim, Ergin Ataman bu sene şampiyon olsaydı da kabul etmeyeceğini söyledi. Hani bunun sebebi de hani Obradovic'le yapıyor, hani sürekli kendisini aralarında bir çekişme var. Hani bu sene şampiyon da olsaydı EuroLeague'de olacaktı yani hani kazanmadın ki, hani hak etmedin denilecekti. Onu bildiği için bence kabul etmedi diyorum. Yani hak ederek kazanmış olmayı, ilk şampiyonluğu olacaktı EuroLeague'de. O yüzden hak ederek kazanmayı tercih ediyor. Bence de doğrusunu yapıyor. I'm so sorry about my English.
No, it's okay. It's fine. I'm sorry about my Turkish.
You will learn Turkish in Turkey.
Yeah.
You must learn. I think it's a big plus for you in your life. You will use. Maybe you will have a girlfriend here. You need to know English. I thank you for joining me on this live session.
Thank you for inviting me.
It was very hard. The first time I used this platform and recording it, I may not record it. I will try, but the first time I'm using this platform. So thank you joining me, answering my questions.
No problem. No problem. I would be happy to join you again anytime.
And see you in the school again.
On the court, hopefully.
Yes. Okay. I'm ending the. Thank you.
Okay, goodbye.